Hello everybody, this is AK. I'm back. So this is a surprise video, right? Totally unexpected. I didn't expect myself to make this video either. But my left wrist was aching a bit. So that's a sign, right? I've learned to read signals from my body a bit better as I grow older. Right, I have to like know. So if there's a bit of pain, a bit of aching, then we know that the body is trying to tell us something, right? So I don't want to incapacitate my left wrist totally. Then I won't be able to play or block. All my hobbies will be at a disadvantage, right? And I want to continue to enjoy my hobbies, right? So I'm going to take the rest of the day off from gaming, rest my wrist, and just watch anime. And also watch some people gaming on Twitch afterwards, because the tournament for World of Warships is happening this weekend. So I'll just watch how people play and maybe become a better player myself, because these are pro players, very competitive. But anyway, stop my rambling. You didn't tune in to listen to me ramble about my games. Right, so I thought I might as well make one video as well, for just for people who are used to listening to me on a daily basis. So it's a bonus video. Right, so not too long ago, I made a video about OCBC and the possibility of a special dividend. Right, it was a video that I made with the help of AI, and of course, many people said they didn't like AI and they didn't like the format, they didn't like the voices. So Mr. and Mrs. AI have been retrenched. No more. But in case you're interested, why I said there's possibility of a special dividend, and if you don't mind AI voices, well, I leave a link in the description box below to the video so that you can watch it, right, if you have not seen it already. Right, so special dividend, quite possible. Your OCBC has a very high CET1 ratio, a lot of excess capital, even after buying so many shares of Great Eastern Life recently. Right, they still have a lot of excess capital. I think the CET1 ratio is still about 15%, if I'm not mistaken, or a bit more than 15%. Right, so I think Mr. Piyush Gupta has said before that a more efficient CET1 ratio will be about 12 to 13%, and that's why Mr. Piyush Gupta from DBS said that they want to give more dividends, and they have been giving out more dividends, and also with the bonus issue 1 for 10 not too long ago, it means that the pace of dividend payout will increase, right, by 10% effectively. Right, even if the dividend per share should stay the same, we are getting 10% more in dividend because of the bonus issue. Right, and then of course Mr. Piyush Gupta or DBS, they have announced just a couple of days ago that they are going to do a 3 billion Singapore dollars share buyback, and that will of course generate more value for shareholders as well, because when a company does share buybacks and they cancel those shares, that means there will be fewer shares floating around in the market. It means that the value backing each share will increase, right, all else being equal, which is probably one of the reasons why DBS share price jumped so much, right? But when they announced the share buyback, I had mixed feelings, because if they do share buyback, it means that there will be less money for special dividends, right? I would rather they give out the money as dividends, actually, because then I can decide when I want to buy more DBS shares. When they do share buybacks, and of course, the decision as to how much to pay for those shares that they're buying back lies with DBS and not with the shareholders like us. And they could be overpaying, right? They could be overpaying. Imagine buying back shares at all-time high prices. They could be overpaying. And this is another reason why I think it makes sense to maybe sell some of our shares in DBS if the price goes up much higher, like I said in yesterday's video, because that will be one way that we can benefit, right, from the buyback, and that's to sell the shares at a higher price back to the next buyer who might be DBS doing share buyback, right? So so the capital gains in that way, right, you can think of it as getting back some money in the form of dividends. in inverted commas, it's not dividends but it's capital gains, but same lah, same but different. So, and when I read in the Business Times just now that Miss Helen Wong, CEO of OCBC, said that they would rather give higher dividends than to do share buybacks to create value for shareholders. I was very happy, right? Not only because my suspicion of a special dividend, which I talked about in the video I mentioned just now, could become a reality. But I also prefer her strategy, right, of giving out higher dividends to shareholders to create value than to do share buybacks. That means I get to decide when I want to buy more shares of OCBC, and I wouldn't have to depend on the management, whom, like I said, might just end up buying back shares at very high prices, right? So it's just something that I was thinking about, so I thought I'll share with anyone who's interested. OCBC possible special dividend, and with what the CEO said, that they prefer to give out higher dividends than to do share buybacks. I like the sound of that. And as for DBS, some people they were wondering, why would I want to sell DBS shares if the share price should go higher? Why don't just hold on to it for dividends? Well, if they place $3 billion one side to do share buybacks, I want to be able to benefit from that even more directly in the money. So monetizing or selling some of shares in DBS at higher prices when the bank is doing share buybacks is like getting dividends for maybe a couple of years in advance. Right? So I rather have the money in my pocket, and then I can decide when to buy more shares than to have the management decide for me. Right? And of course, there is the fact that I think at higher prices like $45, $46, valuation would look pretty rich and is quite stretched. And I like to think that I would sell some only at prices that I wouldn't buy at, and at 2 times book value, though that's a price that I wouldn't be buying more DBS shares at for sure. Right? So anyway, just some weekend rambling. If AK can do it, so can you. Bye bye.